when I was done, a lady approached me and said, I'm a model, and I wonder if you'd be if you'd be interested in working with me. I'm a different body type than what you've been photographing. I have been photographing rather classic figures, and this was a very large lady. And I said, I'm interested, I'm curious. I don't know how well I can do it. I'm not quite sure how to approach it, but let's try. She came to a studio that I have in Northern California, and my wife and I were there and photographed her, nude and semi-nude. And subsequently, whenever I showed my work, if I included pictures of her, she got all the attention.
Really?
Absolutely. People would say, who is she, and how did you come to photograph? Just like you're asking me the question today. How does this happen? Why did you choose this subject matter and so forth? And I thought there's something going on here in our culture that has to do with interest in body type. And I began to do some exploration, and I realized that this tremendous industry built around telling women that they don't look right.
Exactly.
Buy these pills, buy this diet, buy this exercise program, get this surgery, maybe we can get you looking closer to what you should look like. Telling women that they should spend money or do whatever it is to try. Many of them vain. Well, many women, many people, human beings are born in different body shapes. And there's an industry that says there's an appropriate body shape. And if you want to try to get there, we can sell you something that maybe will help you. And I became fascinated with that subject matter. Through some model friends of mine, I contacted a group in San Francisco who call themselves the Fat Bottom Review. They're a burlesque company. Yeah. And I made an appointment with them, and we flew to San Francisco and photographed them there, and that was the beginning of the Full Body Project. Yeah.
If you have not seen the images, I cannot tell you how moving they are. They're absolutely beautiful, and yes, it's on his website. Again, that is LeonardNimoyPhotography.com.
Right.
But also through Amazon. With Shekinah as well, you described it as an exploration of your own spirituality. How did you get to using those images? As you said, they were controversial, but how did you get to using those images?
Well, this springs from a Star Trek story. The Shekinah projects spring from Star Trek, or something that happened in Star Trek. When I was about 8 or 9 years old, sitting in a synagogue, raised in a Jewish family, sitting in a synagogue with my family during the high holidays, there came a moment during the service when the congregation is blessed by a group of gentlemen who are known as Kohanim. They are the members of the priestly tribe of the Jewish people. They get up to bless the congregation with a blessing that we know in English. It's in the Old and the New Testament. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause his countenance to shine upon you. May the Lord turn his graciousness unto you and grant you peace. Now, they were doing this in Hebrew, and the congregation is standing, and they're chanting it and shouting it fervently, almost like a revival meeting. Loud and discordant and passionate. And my father said to me, "Don't look." Well,
How old were you?
I was about 9.
Okay, I have a 10-year-old, and yeah, that's just the perfect way to.
Yeah, right.
Looking around.
You gotta do some, you would have to peek. The congregation got their eyes covered with their hands or their prayer shawls over their heads. And I saw that, but I thought, I've got to see what's going on here because there's something magical happening. And I peeked. And I saw these guys with their hands stretched to the congregation like that. It's magical. Every time I do that, flashbulbs go off. Look at that.
There are fairies in the air.
So I had no idea why they were doing it or what it meant. But I was captured by it, and I decided I had to learn how to do that, so I practiced it. Years of diligent practice and self-denial to be able to do that left hand, right hand, anytime, any place. And
I bet if I try to do it, I don't get as many touches.
Well, you have to work there. Anyway, I had no idea it would come in handy someday, but when we were doing an episode called Amok Time on Star Trek, written by Theodore Sturgeon, a wonderful, beautiful script, And we were going to Vulcan for the first time. We were going to see other Vulcans other than the Spock for the very first time. And I was hoping that we would build something into the Vulcan culture, the Vulcan mythology. And when we arrived on the planet, Captain Kirk and Dr. McCoy and Spock would land on the planet. Here comes the procession to meet us. Spock is going to be married. And the lady who's going to conduct the ceremony is Chipao, wonderful actress named Celia Lowsky, very regal and powerful. And we're supposed to meet, and she says, welcome home. And I said, whatever, thanks, it's nice to be here, or whatever. And I said to the director, maybe we should do something special that Vulcans do when they greet. They said, what do you have in mind? So I thought, maybe I can do that. And he had no idea what it was all about, but he said, okay, let's do that. So, well, the problem was that she hadn't spent the years of diligent practice and self-denial that I had. And she had trouble doing it. But I thought, we've got to find a way to get this done. So we prepared her. She held her right hand with her left hidden from the camera, and she had it ready. So when I raised my hand, she was ready, and she raised hers, and that's all.
But that was from
that's right.
seeing
Now to the photography.
And now to
when I learned later that the reason that you're not supposed to look is because during that benediction, the Shekhinah, the feminine aspect of God, comes into the sanctuary by legend, comes into the sanctuary to bless the congregation. She is a deity. The light from a deity can be very damaging to a human. It's too powerful. You don't want to see that. Could hurt you badly. And that's why you cover your eyes to protect yourself. Well, when I heard that story, I thought, that's quite fascinating. And I'm going to shoot some pictures of the Shekhinah, wherever I find her. I'm going to go searching for the Shekhinah. And I did that, and I did a photographic essay on the subject, and that became the book called Shekhinah. That's how it happened.
I think my favorite picture in the book is the lady in the pool of water.
Yeah.
And because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's just kind of floating around her. And then all of a sudden you realized it's submerged in water, and it's
she's in a pool,
swirling around her in the pool. And
right.
it's just,
right.
It just hit me. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful image in that book. Thank you so much for that romance.
So, by the way, a couple of days after that episode went on the air for the first time, I was in Cleveland to do an appearance, something like this, to talk to some people. And I was being driven to the location on a Saturday afternoon. We stopped at a traffic light. Car pulled up beside us, and a pretty young lady recognized me, and she raised her hand and she did that. So I was kind of excited because it was the first time it had ever come back to me in public. It's come back to me hundreds of thousands of times. But this was the first time ever. So I rolled down the window and I said to her, can you do it with your left hand? She put her hand up about like that. She said, I'm sorry, I speak it with an accent.
So religion, spirituality,
yeah.
societal standards of beauty. What's next?
Well, then